I eat, breathe and sleep art. It's my whole existence. When you join our tribe, we will take you on a complete new journey. We will open your eyes to see the world in a different light. It's not just about art, it's about life. This COVID wave, the third wave, has put us all in havoc. I panicked, but I was surrounded with amazing people, amazing group of people, two ladies that does my marketing and does my teaching for me, for the young ones, and it's really nice to know that I'm not alone. I spoke to one of my students today and she said to me, Francie, remember, you are surrounded with this, you've already built this stable tribe, if you want to call it. So I really want to thank you all for always being there for me, and especially in this difficult time. We are going to do a live Facebook Live every week. I'm going to do a demonstration. Next week it's going to be color pencils, the technique with color pencils. I'm going to try and do it in 2 hours. Color pencils is not something that's a quick thing. The video that I'm doing today is not to teach you how to draw. By the time that we're going to start with this, you've done most of my syllabus already. So you know how to draw, you know what is negative spaces, you know to put all the proportions together. From time to time I just, if you join my classes, you'll know the way I teach. Right, so what I was saying is, by the time that you watch this video, I'm not going to teach you how to draw. So what I've done is I've done the drawing already on a canvas, a very nice canvas, and I have done it in watercolor pencil, so that if I do make mistakes, we wipe off with water. Just the ordinary paintbrush with water to fix mistakes. We do not use an eraser on a canvas, because the moment we do that, the geisha wants to crack. Okay, so let's stay away from that. So when you work on a canvas, use your watercolor pencils. So a shout out is to the teachers to not give up hope. You know what, we're all in this together. And when we selected the profession, the art profession, we actually putting ourselves out there. And I want to stay positive. This morning I was quite sad when I had my first client. We do one-on-one sessions live to the students, and I was quite sad because it was a reality where I won't be able to see them in a while. Let's hope that this third wave will go past quickly. Seeing that my crowd is on, I just want to repeat that. I want to say thank you very much to Laurie Han and Jacqueline for working so hard, taking photos, putting everything, the whole marketing strategy together. We have worked hard. I am surrounded with a crowd of awesome people that carries me all the time. So thank you for that. So let's start. Hi Helmi, dit is so lekker om van jou te sien. Oh nee, obviously sien ek jou nie. Hallo Alta. Ek gaan nou begin, julle moenie worry nie. Kom. Die hond is gered. Alles is happy, nou kan ons half begin. Ek sien ek het al 'n paar mense hier so op Pixel. Sy het nou net teruggekom, ek het die deur vir haar oopgemaak en daar gaan sy. Okay, kom ons fokus op hierdie ding. Dit is vir my baie nuut die Facebook Live, want ek hou daarvan om met mense te gesels en nou sit jy net met my gesig. Okay, right. I must remember to speak English. Sorry about that. Yet again, welcome to my happy place. Welcome Marinda, it's nice to see you here as well. This COVID wave, the third wave, has put us all in havoc. I panicked, but I was surrounded with amazing people, amazing group of people, two ladies that does my marketing and does my teaching for me, for the young ones, and it's really nice to know that I'm not alone. That's the one thing. The other thing is, I want to thank you all. Not all of you are on the Facebook Live yet. I'm waiting for about 20 more people, where I just want to thank them in advance for supporting me. I spoke to one of my students today, and she said to me, Francie, remember, you are surrounded with this, you've already built this stable tribe, if you want to call it. So I really want to thank you all for always being there for me, and especially in this difficult time. We are going to do a live Facebook Live every week. I'm going to do a demonstration. Next week it's going to be color pencils, the technique with color pencils. I'm going to try and do it in 2 hours. Color pencils is not something that's a quick thing. And today we are going to do thank you, welcome Courtney. We're still waiting for Jackie because she's going to help me with some comments. I might not read all the comments as I paint. And we are going to do an abstract acrylic and oil painting today. So it is now, what is the time? Oh, it's only 2 minutes past 6. So let's just give them some time to get in. Marika Buki, I haven't spoken to you in a while. It's nice to see you in here as well. And Ina is on. Ina had a trouble getting on, so Ina, I'm glad you're back. Claire Bowen, Claire, I'm now welcome. Let me just answer Claire. Lorianne, I don't know if you're online, if you can just tell her to go on to the link, or just on Art with Francie. Ah, somebody's helping there. Okay, great. So, what happens with drawing? The video that I'm doing today is not to teach you how to draw. By the time that we're going to start with this, you've done most of my syllabus already. So you know how to draw, you know what is negative spaces, you know to put all the proportions together. And now, this lekker om jou te sien. Farida, thank you for joining us. I'm excited to share this with you too. So I must just remember to keep on talking English. Okay. From time to time, I just, if you join my classes, you'll know the way I teach. Okay, there's Jackie. She's also the guys at the IT is down, but it's not trying. Okay, Farida is also watching. Sorry, girls. I know it's a mess at the moment. Right, so what I was saying is, by the time that you watch this video, I'm not going to teach you how to draw. So what I've done is I've done the drawing already on a canvas, a very nice canvas, and I have done it in watercolor pencil, so that if I do make mistakes, we wipe off with water. Just the ordinary paintbrush with water to fix mistakes. We do not use an eraser on a canvas, because the moment we do that, the gesso wants to crack. Okay, so let's stay away from that. So when you work on a canvas, use your watercolor pencils. I'm gonna just, okay, I've got Claire going on, Melissa, you there? I hope it's Thomas watching. And like I said, this is my happy place, girls. You will hear the dogs bark. I've got lovely dogs that protect us on the farm here, and if you hear that, you know, it's unfortunately what we have. Okay, so welcome Jackie, welcome Lorianne, welcome Didi, and Claire, I think you on as well, and there goes Didi. Before we start, I just want to do a kind of shout out to the teachers out there, to the artists out there. You know, every time that this wave comes, we scramble and we don't know exactly what to do. Hi Claire, welcome. Jackie, thank you very much for being here. Okay, so a shout out is to the teachers to not give up hope. You know what, we're all in this together, and when we selected the profession, the art profession, we actually putting ourselves out there. And I want to stay positive. This morning I was quite sad when I had my first client. We do one-on-one sessions live to the students, and I was quite sad because it was a reality where I won't be able to see them in a while. Let's hope that this third wave will go past quickly. Seeing that my crowd is on, I just want to repeat that. I want to say thank you very much to Laurie Han and Jacqueline for working so hard, taking photos, putting everything, you know, the whole marketing strategy together. We have worked hard. I am surrounded with a crowd of awesome people that carries me all the time. So thank you for that. So let's start. I also want to welcome, of course, the people that's not students. Okay, enjoy this, and let's see if we can teach you something today. Right. I have done this drawing prior to this class because what I said was I'm not teaching you tonight to draw. I did this in a watercolor pencil, and half of that is quite purple, and I left it like that for a specific reason. So after I've done my drawing and I have used my scaler, which is made especially for Art with Francie, so thank you for your hand for that. Okay, so what I did was I measured and made sure that my work is in proportion. If your work is in a proportion, remember that paint doesn't fix it. Something happened downstairs. Oh, goody. Everybody okay? Good. Right. So what we normally do is we think that if our drawing is not working out, we can fix it when we paint. If you can't draw, you can't paint. Rather go back one step and make sure that your drawing is perfect. In a way, we are going to do an abstract tonight, and I want to get onto it quickly as possible. Okay, right. While they're chatting on the group, I've got Jackie there, she's going to answer. I've got Marinda there, she's going to answer. And in the meantime, I am going to get going, otherwise we're not going to finish. So, I just have a little bit of water in here with a paintbrush, and this is done with a watercolor pencil. So what I'm doing is putting it into the water, dab it on my piece of cloth here, and just go outline the lines that I'm happy with. So you can actually say it's like underpainting. Just see, that was a wrong line, so I'm not going to enhance that. A little bit more water. It's very important to stand back when you do a demonstration like this. It's not always possible to stand back, because if I do, I'm going to stand right in front of you. I do have a problem with the feet there, and that's specifically what I wanted to show you and why I left it. I'm going to take water and I'm going to paint in the shoe. And that drawing line is wrong, so I'm going to take that. Just draw the line that I'm happy with. There. You can really go and you can take your cloth, and if you made a mistake, really sit there and take that off if you want to. But in this case, it's not necessary. But I just want to show you how easy it is to take away a wrong line. So if I want to take, let's say that, well, I know that that line is wrong, so I wet it, and I take my cloth and I just wipe that off. Okay. Right, let's just line all of this in so that you can see it nicely. The brush I'm using is a flat brush, a number 12, but it's not, you know, you find a brush that suits you. This is a flat brush like that, so you can draw very nice thin lines. Don't use a thin brush necessarily, or a very small brush if you want to put detail. Okay, so there's her hair. We're going to play with her hair coming down. And then if we do find mistakes or if something doesn't work out, this is now the time to fix. Okay, you can see the subject matter that I've published earlier. The subject matter is copyrighted. So I'm not going to use that subject matter as starting to end point. I will change it, and I want to give credit to the artist that did the original, but I don't know who they are. Sorry, I found the picture on Pinterest and I just loved it because it's going to be it's a very nice medium, and hopefully a quick medium. Okay, so I've changed some. I like the shoulder, I like the hands. We're going to bring the hair down. Now, with the face, I'm just going to take a thin brush. So I want to show you that brush. It is a flat brush. Okay? It's a newish brush. You know, the hair doesn't stand like that. That's nice because I can do a thin line. So I'm using it on the edge there. Just going to go lightly on her face there. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can still see some of my grid lines. There's the eye, the eyebrow. Okay, I did this during the 50-minute sessions today, and I want to stand back. The hair's going to go right down. Just want to stand back, and you'll see that as the paint was running there, it doesn't concern me at all. I am happy with it. This kind of looks funny a bit because the hair, on the original picture, the hair came through there. Anyway, so let's start. I'm not worried about the watercolor pencils that is still my grid. Not worry about it because it's going to be part of my background. Okay. I'm going to use fixative. Fixative can be very expensive, so Fiesta hairspray is my go-to. You don't always find this in a shop. I normally buy the small one, but it's difficult to find. If you do find it, buy it, keep it. This will last you for years if you don't share it with everybody else or spray your own hair, which we don't have to do. I nearly said it's for old ladies only, but with my hair these days, it could work. Anyway, good. So what I'm doing now is I'm fixing this, but when you fix, you do not want to put your spray right over. I'm just going to fix that from the side like that, and that's all we need to do. You're not going to spray the whole can on your painting. So what's going to happen is when we work on this now, this will move nowhere. Yes, I can cover it up with paint. We're going to do that. That's the style we're going to use, but this lady might just stay there. Let's hope we can keep her, especially her face. You know, it's not always easy to get a friendly ballerina. No, that's not what I meant. I meant it's not easy to always draw a friendly face. I have got a spray bottle because the first layer that we're going to do is acrylic. I've got a spray bottle. I have got a small little roller here. I've got a rubber roller here. You can see it's been used. I use my stuff quite a bit. What have I done with my paintbrush? This is the paintbrush I will use for most of the painting. Nice brushes. You know what, it loses hair, but I always say if it loses 20 hair, let's work until we get to number 21. I've used this for many years. In here, I've got a container like this. This is normally, you know, that you soak your paint with. So on the one side I've got water in, and on the other side I'm just going to dry my brush. And the paint I'm using is just ordinary acrylic. Okay, let's look at too much water on my brush. So let's just dry that. This is a silvery grey acrylic that I'm using. Just shaking it out. Just mixing the grey with a little bit of white, because on the left corner here I want to have a lighter area. So you'll see as we go over this girl, she's not really disappearing. I hope you're having a glass of wine while I'm painting. Okay, cappuccino can also work. This is plain acrylic. The canvas I'm working on, I want to say it's a flat canvas. So the wood at the back is actually touching the canvas. So let me just show you. If I turn it around, it doesn't have a beveled inner. So what happens is, it's a bad thing. So what happens is when I work on the edges, it will actually sometimes leave a line there. So be careful when you do buy canvases that you look out for that. Okay, so I want to take my spray bottle, just test that a bit. I'm going to spray. Just want the nozzle to have a soft spray, if I can get that right. Is it in or is it out? Apparently, it's in. Oh, not close. Go back. Good. So this is a very soft spray, and I just spray on there. Perhaps it's too soft. Let me go a little bit. Whoops. You know, these things only work when you don't need it. Why? Come on. That's funny, we can just replace this. So you buy these things from Plastic Land or so forth. I don't know why this is not working because it's brand new. Just replace it with another one. If I can get it in there. I suppose that was... Okay. That's better. So I'm going to spray that, and you can hear how it's touching. So as it runs down, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I can go a little bit softer there. That is a lot of water. I'm going to take my little roller, and I'm just going to roll over that. Different directions. Oopsie. You see that the lady, Ina, exactly. I want to talk to you about this technique because we discussed it earlier today. This whole thing is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to do your rhino, right? And then you're going to do it with watercolor pencil. You're going to mark it with your water. You're going to fix it. You're not going to do a background like I'm doing, but you're going to use a spray bottle. And with different colors in here, spray it, let it run, control it a little bit, and you're going to work like you always do with acrylic. Okay, so that is basically why I wanted you to specifically be here tonight. So, a very nice background. Oops. Oops. Okay, so I just added some paint on my roller. So careful, girls, when you work with this technique, okay, in your hand, if you work with this technique, careful that you don't splatter this everywhere on your curtains. I have the opportunity, or I'm lucky to have a happy place where I've got my own studio, and the background here, you know what, I can splash it because I can paint again. But do not work on an area, especially because you're going to work from home now, work in an area where you don't get into trouble. And if you do not have a studio like I have, rather put an old cloth there or a newspaper or something, because working with abstract can be very daunting, and we get excited and we carry on, and at the end of the day you need to buy new curtains. Do the sides. So I'm just going to step back, and I hope you can see how beautiful she is already. This, I love that. I do like the white areas that's also standing out. Jackie, can you please tell me if the light is working and if you can see what I can see? If I switch this off, we just see here. If I switch that off, oh, that's terrible. And then I've got another light here, because I can't always see. That might be better, I don't know. That's pretty cool, the roller. I'm just waiting for Jackie. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Thank you very much, Claire. And remember, I haven't even had a glass of wine. Andre! He's not going to give it to me. Light is fine, Francie. Thank you. Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. Let's carry on a little bit. I've added some more paint on my roller, but this roller, you know when you normally paint, you will actually put it over your whole roller. I didn't do that because what happens now is the moment I'm going down, it's going to have, whoopsie. So you'll see that it will have blotches, and that's what we want. We want blotches. Okay? We don't want. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit darker on her. With my roller, let's add a slight amount of black. So I'm just going to add black to that grey. If I can get it out of the tube. Ah, there you go. And, you know, black is the end of color. So be careful. Let's see what that does. Can you see? This is exactly what I was talking about. If you don't completely fill your roller with that. You know, fill your roller with the paint. Don't overwork it. Let the roller do the actual work for you. Good. Now, I want to work on that edge there. I've got some hard area there. I just want to go a little bit darker on this. So this is going to be the corset of her dress. You see, I'm really working quite rough. So use that there for folds. That's going to go in there. And this is quite dark. You never thought. Oh, Andre, ek soek OBS. Gaan jy vir my glasie OBS bring? Donkey. Claire says that I need a little bit more personality. So if you can bring me that. Okay, so have you ever thought that you can paint with a roller? See how nice that is. So there's already some nice shadows going through there. That. Okay, I'm going to stand back. And already I can see some magic. Okay, not all everywhere. Right, let's look at that area there. I'm going to come back with a brush. But you know, if we say abstract is you, ne? Let me just lift this canvas slightly. Just so we do the bottom part. Oopsie daisy. And it is very important to remember that paint works like this. If you add paint to your roller and you paint, okay, the more you repeat that, the paint actually lifts up. So get the paint on your roller, zhuzh once or twice and leave it. Because if I carry on here, the whole texture will disappear. I get some old brand sherry.
Some personality.
Some personality, Donkey. Cheers, girls. Let's do this now. We'll get some things done. Andre wants to know if this is enough.
It's a live video. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what you girls think, but we can do a little bit more. Okay, so here we go. Standing back. Now I'm going to work with my paintbrush. Let's just give her some stuff there. We've got a little there. Okay, I'm going to take my spray bottle. Again, let's just see what the spray bottle does. If I spray a little bit, if it's going to run like that. Okay. I've got white acrylic on my brush. This time I'm using a flat round brush. So meaning it's not round, it's flat round. So that's flat round. Okay, so the tip is round. The reason I'm using that, the reason, Marissa Torani, I can't have my own show, but thank you very much. The reason I'm using the round brush is because it will give me the nice round edge at the bottom of your skirts. So I'm going to put that down and whoosh, go up with that, and there, whoosh, go up. Can you see? Now we've already done the dark areas. Now we're going to work with the light area. Okay, let's do this. So I'm standing back, getting more serious, bringing these lines down there and work that fold in. So this is very important when you work with negative spaces, that this makes sense to you. Stand back. Okay, and then we've got some highlight there. So I'm working on that purple. When we're done with this painting, the purple should be gone. So when I put the paintbrush down, I can put it down and have a thin line, or I put it down, press hard, and it gives me a thicker line. I'm never ever scared of fixing what I feel is broken. Bring that fold in there, bring this down here, just giving an indication of where the dress falls. So best is to work with a paintbrush in your hand like this and not with a pen. You know, don't hold it a pen if you can help it. Hold it like this So when you do abstracts, so that paintbrush works to your advantage. Okay, I'm going to add some dark areas, light areas here, bring that down, just to help us with the idea that her dress is falling nice and soft around her body. It's going to end up to there. Now this is very soft folds that falls there. And if you haven't done folds with a paintbrush, a graphite pencil, then you might just battle. So it is a challenge to do folds as it is. So if you, like I say, if you haven't done it, do yourself a favor and go do that. Okay, standing back again, and I like that. Oh, I love it. So you can see how that is actually transparent. If I look at the camera, Marissa, I'm working in acrylic. This is acrylic because I need, especially for this, so when we finish the final details we will do in oils, okay? But not just for this demonstration. Working with acrylics, it gives me the opportunity to go more abstract. And if I'm really in a hurry, I can use the hairdryer to dry my layers before I carry on. Where with oils, you don't have that opportunity. Just want to take that right away. So if I do want to wipe off, I can wipe off there, because these acrylics are not not dry yet. But I want to work with a white brush, but now I just added some grey in there because I want to just put that back. There. So she's holding her dress, she's actually pulling her dress up and she's bending down. I've changed some of it because she's got a shoulder that goes down there. You can see there's some shoulder that's going to go down there, but I battled to get the shoulder around. You know, it kept on looking as if it was broken, so I just fixed it. Okay, goed. Now, while we're there, working with a white, let me just stand back. I think that's beautiful, but I don't see that area there, so let's just bring this out. I hope I don't talk too much. But you know me, my e's and r's and what, the old brand Sherry, the e's and r and was and were is not always natural to me, but I don't have a problem having an Afrikaans accent because I am Afrikaans and I'm actually very proud of it. But I can sometimes use the wrong words the wrong time. Okay, so I don't want to add more there. I think that is beautiful. If this dries, I want to cover that up. Right, let's look at her bodice. So I've put some of my paints in a small container like this. So some will work from the container. Okay, right, now let's go. Hopefully that is dry. It's a little bit wet, so I just want to bring her, whoopsie daisy. So I'm just plonking it on. I see that I'm losing. Just want to stand on the other side. Okay, so just want to give the indication of her bodice. Still using the same brush, right? So I'm using the flat side and then that. Right, so at the back here, just to bring that line in, to separate her from the background, because the whole background is going right through this painting. Like that. And I'm going to soften this. Just going to soften this with a dry brush again. So yet again a round brush, and just work this slightly in. Now there's some paint that comes off there. Oh, you know why it comes off? Because of the water. When we sprayed the water, it went right onto the canvas and it gives us that texture. So don't worry about that texture. That's what you actually need. When you paint this and you're done, people might say, how did you get that? By accident. So most of the time when we do have an accident, it becomes a style. Good. So I would leave that. She looks a bit fat. That looks like a huge belly. So let's just bring that out straight down there. And it was a bit on a curve. So let's get her to look like a ballerina. It looks better. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And you could also go here with cross hatching, you know. Just bring this in. Make it fun. Okay, so that's the dark there. We've got some dark area there, but that's also her neck. So let's just give her some clothing to wear. So her clothing will go a little bit there. It will go over there. Come down. Pick up that purple. Come down with that. Okay, her hair is going to fall over that anyway. Just want to kind of block her out so that we separate her from the background. And okay, standing back, that dark looks too dark, so I want to go a little bit darker here, but now because it was so wet, it was as if the canvas doesn't take the paint. Just plonk it in there. Okay. I'm not going to work with black in here. I'm happy with the background coming through. I'm going to add some white. So I've got two brushes. One is for white and the one is for black. So I try not to get confused, but always put it back into water. Just wash it out a little bit. Okay. Yes, Jackie. Ballerinas are not supposed to be pregnant. Oh, she's voluptuous. Thank you, Claire. She's not fat, she's delicious. I'm going to take some white, just bring some kind of white there. Good. Where else? Let's do, I'm going to put a little bit of white in there, so that will give me grey, while a little bit of grey while that is still wet. Right. Okay, we'll work on the arm there, and let's do her arm here. I'm going to use the background as my guideline. Because this is where the highlight captures her. Okay, now that area there, you know, because I'm a fine artist, I want to blend it. So it's not, in this case, it's not the right thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm just going to blend that slightly, because I want to keep the background. Okay, and then we're going to bring in some white that just touches over the shoulder. Goed. just a look at that funny. Okay, right, that's happy for now. Let's work on this arm. Now, you know what? I kind of wanted to hide this arm, like I said earlier. It was as if this arm kind of was broken, you know. So I want to hide that if I can by bringing it into with her hair and the background and so forth. So I'm not going to really go too wild on that arm. The arm was about that wide, so that could be very dark. So let's go just take a smaller brush. And so it's a round brush again, a smaller brush, and I'm just going to work underneath that chin there. Good. Okay, I'm happy with that now. Let's quickly look at this shadow here. A little bit under my brush, just going to bring in a slight amount there, a little bit there, and perhaps slightly there. Let's take that, and I'm putting my paintbrush next to that on the dry area, and I'm just picking up the side of my brush to make that blend in. Okay. Now, the challenge comes in when we do the hand. Very good example. If I did the drawing too dark and I exaggerated the purple here, the watercolor pencil, then I don't really have a choice to put the lines in or the highlights in. Okay? So sometimes when I do a drawing, I would actually wipe off quite a bit of the drawing before I start working. In this case, we need the background to become part of the foreground. So let me just stand back. I like what I see. Let's quickly do her face. When I work with my paintbrushes, I try to keep my paintbrushes while I'm busy with my paintbrushes, put it in a container where I can just grab it again. So I never put it back into water and I never put it back into turpentine, because when you pick it up and you paint with it, you can wipe everything off. So, you know, put it up like this in another container, hold your brushes separate, the ones you're using at the moment. The people, okay, what do we do? We are doing going to do the hands a bit. Just going to work on the highlights again. So just put a highlight there, highlight there. Take water, wipe the same brush, just see if I could just blend that slightly into that purple, and the rest will become background. So if the purple becomes a problem, I can always, you know, add some purple in the background with a roller, and then they go, oh, the purple should have been there. Okay, everybody's happy there. Don't know if people's asking me questions. Okay, let's do the face quickly. What I'm doing is working with a white. I'm going to just softly add. If I say softly, it doesn't mean so much paint. I'm going to take a little bit of water, clean my brush, wipe it, and just work that in. Don't want to lose the background. I used too much white, so that's why I battle with this now. we're even going to use that in the eye. So a little bit less white. We want to see some white there, on the tip of the nose, underneath the lip, on the chin here, on that lip. Just want to stand this side. Just work that in. Don't be afraid if you, like I'm doing now, I need a shape there to take it off with water. Okay, I'm going to take the dark areas, which is going to be my black. Hopefully I can change my brush. Let me just test it there. And I'm going to do the eyebrow. I'm going to do the eye. Do the other lid there and the between the lips. Okay, this is going to be hair coming down. I like the purple in between. Do we have a problem with the broadcast? Add a little bit of grey in the face. Now the challenge comes in when we're working with abstract, and we also perhaps tend to go more to the fine art section. So this is where I'm in trouble. And when I look at my students, I kind of envy them because they can leave something and it looks abstract-y and it's beautiful. I want to blend, so I'm in danger. Perhaps I should take another glass of wine, because you know what? I want to blend that face now. And actually that face is supposed to be part of the background. So what do I do? I'm going to just put a little bit of grey in there. Okay, so I want to add a little bit of grey on the cheekbones. This whole area can go much darker. I just want to repeat what I said earlier. And I actually want to face you when I say that. Thank you, Esme. I would leave the face, but I already changed it. But I might just do a zhu. I just want to repeat what I said earlier before all the other students came online. I want to thank you for being so supportive, number one. When I spoke to Ina earlier today, she says, Frans, you know what, you build up such a nice tribe, supportive tribe, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank my two teachers that has really worked very hard. You know, I started with art classes this morning at 8 o'clock. I finished at 4:30. You know, most of you saw me one-on-one. We're doing this. I'm doing a video. I'm going live on my Thursday. Students, Farida, I see that you're here. We're going to go live on that. I'm working very hard, and I appreciate your commitment. So let's get this painting done. You know what? My teachers sit, and like Cherie said to me the other day, Mom, you know what? Aren't you glad that you're not alone in this thing? And they just give me the courage to carry on. they are very, very patient with me if I can't get my words right on a video. That was funny. We should actually do bloopers, you would love it. Because all I had to say was 2 sentences. And you know what? I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. And after a while, I got a hug and said, "Oh, don't worry, Francie. You know, as if I don't have my own words. I can talk a lot, but that day was just funny. Right, let's add this. I'm going to put the white there. That. Okay, Esme says we must leave the face. I've changed a little bit. I am going to take a little bit of water and I'm going to just blend that. So, in there. I'm happy with that. And you see, that is blotchy. So it still goes with, the background. Thank you, Lorianne. I know you're with me. And I'm with you. I don't know. Tell me, Lorianne, is Linda Furman on the group? Did she join the Facebook thing? I think she battled. I don't know. You were such a darling with her today. Okay, right. Okay, sorry, I must move my butt here. So let's just do the nose, let's get that done. I'm going to take a much smaller brush in there and I'm going to put the nostril in. Just like that. Okay, last thing I want to do on the face is actually nothing. I hope you agree with me. Quickly let me do the ballet shoes. Just going to pull my chair right here and hopefully I can reach my paints or not. Just going to, don't do what I do. I know I've got too much paint on here, so I'm just going to take this container and use it as a palette. You see? Don't do what I do. So I want to put some white on those ribbons there. And we need white on that area there. So I'm just going to steal it from there. I also like the purple. I'm going to add some purple in the background later on. Some white there. And then the ballet shoes must shine because the ballet shoes are satin. I do agree with you, Claire. When I did the drawing, Claire, I also thought that the face was big. Anyway, I'll have a look at that now. And go down there, and some highlights there. Okay, we're going to take some dark, and we do need some contrast to separate that from the background. I'm going to soften it because we still want to get the idea that it is satin shoes. So what I'm doing is I've just put water in there and I've done white and I've done dark, so I'm going to just blend it together. Good. And I'll come back with the white just for a highlight again, a little bit of dark to separate the two shoes. That, and there's dark area sitting there. last thing. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to work with a white there, and I'm going to add some white there and a little bit on that leg there. And we need a ribbon going that way. Okay, I feel that foot is too big. The moment we make a mistake like that, to move that back, I'm just going to put a dark area there. And you know what? I chose the subject matter because I liked it. And there's so many of you that want to do a very, I wouldn't say quick drawing, but I would say, you know, something free. We are so locked up at the moment that it will be nice to be free a little bit. But also the impressions to me is kind of personal, because the way I see myself in difficult times like this, the impression is just, sometimes I don't see what I'm capable of, and I sometimes find it difficult to look at myself and find that I am successful in what I'm doing because I love what I'm doing. So the impressions that I sometimes have is not always positive. So that's why I'm actually looking at this and call this impressions, because it's very close to my heart. It's the people that love me that keep my arms up. Just want to go a little bit more lighter there. And there. Okay, I like that. And we can put a little bit highlight there. Good. Okay, on that note, I need to put some dark area as a shadow. Everything we do needs a shadow, so I'm going to put a, you know, just to ground her a little bit without losing that points there. Good, let's do the face. Girls, you do know that I am, we're doing well. It's only an hour now. Okay, as you know, I am a smoker. And I shouldn't say that, eh? I should do that secretly. But you know what my problem is? I've been looking for my lighter for more than an hour now, and I can't find it. Oh, next to the original paintbrush that I was looking for. You know what is nice? Having a session like this, not just talking COVID. Sometimes I feel it's just COVID, 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 but that is reality, reality, reality. I've got a sore throat. I don't know if it's the starting of anything. I believe it's not. I've been taking tablets since yesterday. As you obviously know, I've closed my classes on Wednesday, so I'm very glad that you are here with me today with this lesson, and I really hope that you will try this out as well. Don't stop painting. You know, at the end of the day, this is what keeps us going. If you create, if you do art, craft, or whatever, do it. You know, book your online class. Okay, let's do a little bit highlight there. Stand back, see if she's a happy face. Okay, let's do her hair. She does look fat to me. I'm going to take that away. So to take that away, possible thing that I can do is take this there. Let's just look at that. Looks a bit better. So I'm going to go quite black in there. which will form part of her, not background as per se. Let's bring this in. Okay, that can give us some impression. That looks good. I like it. Okay, good. Let's do the hair. Let's take the hair. This is still an issue because I want to, you know, it feels like it's still, there's no differentiation between her body and the background. So let me just lighten it up a little bit, just like that, until I'm happy because my eye keeps on going there. Looks better, much better. Okay, kom ons doen haar hare. So haar hare is a different paintbrush. So I've got the set brushes. I'm going to use, now this is a flat. Cherise, call your dad. She's busy with kids. Her hair is mostly black. So I'm going to be a little bit naughty and go into black. Remember what I always say, black is the end of colour, white is the beginning of colour. Oh, welcome Val. Oh, I'm so glad you got on the group. Everybody say hi to Val. She is in the lovely UK and we miss you very much. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this paintbrush, this is a flat. I'm going to put it on, in my container and I'll wipe on both sides, right? Just to get a nice thin texture, because what happens is if I put this down, I can put it down and press hard and get the hair going there. Okay, so this whole brush doesn't just do flat work. So it depends on how you control your brush. We're going to add some highlights to that. Now again, this is less is more. I know that it's very black. Let me just fix that a bit up. And this is a little bit more daunting because of her eye, or the face that will fall from there. Working with a flat brush now, just go into that, pick up the nose. This is the most difficult part to do, and then whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Now, hair doesn't stand in the air, it drops down because it's got weight. So, a little bit of water in my container, work again so they can flow. Go in there and press hard, and there's some strands of hair. Go there. So this area here will be, I hope you can still see, yeah. That area there, go down and give me hair there. I know her hair is very long. So hair is not just, it's shape. Each and every lock is a shape. So I'm taking this paintbrush, press hard, coming in. That is huge hair, but it's okay. Let's bring that in. So I'm actually twirling and twisting my brush. That was heavy. That was so heavy. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Some of the hair can go right down here. Okay, that gives us the idea. I just want to go dark in there. Clean that up a bit. Okay, stand back. She's pretty, man. Right, now let's do the hair on her head. So the question is this too high? If we do that and not up there, that can work. So I'm just doing the dark areas, putting my brush down and twirl the brush in. Okay? And again there, bring it in, because she's obviously holding her hair. Good. And I must keep on just making sure that I don't go fine art and that still stay with the style that you've started with. As you know, I tend to just go a bit overboard and start blending. So my eyes, I've got a very fine eye, and when you do stuff like this, you know, that is just good enough. But to me, it's like, what? Okay, so if you could give me feedback on that, Claire, especially if the head should go higher. But I think that looks better. It was quite up there. Okay, now this is still an issue, but the impression that we give. Yes, I do. So you say I should lift that up. Okay. So the impressions that we give is that will be her arm going down, and she's actually tying up her ballet shoes. But we're not going to put her hand there. We're just going to make her bend down a bit. So let's lift this up a little bit, Jax. This is where I had it. Okay, so let's leave it like that. Hair, more hair. The hair came down there. I'm not going to do the hair. I'm going to bring some down there so that we can hide that arm. This hair is down there, and then we've got hair coming right down from there. Okay, a little bit still. There's some hair still tucked into her hand there. Okay. The crown needs about 1 centimeter. What? You see, I taught you too well. Now, what you do is you tell me what to do, which I love. You know, when we get to that, when you ask questions and you go like, no, it's not right. Let's prove it if it's right or not. So I'm very proud of you girls. 1 centimeter, no, crown is watching. Okay, good. So, in actual fact, that goes down. Don't want to go too big, but what we're going to do, just want to go back into the dark lashes there. That there, we've got a dark lash there. Now her nose looks terrible. Let's just bring that. Ooh, kakalakis. So I've just made a mistake there. So what I'm going to do, I just took her nose out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this. Please stay with me. This is difficult for me. So if I do that, and I bring that up. Oh, I love that. And through there, and through there, down there, through there. See, the there is where the abstract starts. Now, before we carry on, whew. I'm going to add some white now. Let's add some white into the hair. We do the same thing. I want the highlights to fall. So, highlights there. And some highlight there. Good. A little bit. So I'm standing back, working with a long arm so that I can see. There. And we've got that going there. We've got some highlights going there. And that will turn slightly. Just to give us the indication that her hair is not necessarily dirty. Why I say dirty is sometimes when we paint hair, we use one colour. Okay, one colour. The most colours that you can put in, the more the hair will look fluffy. Okay. Thank you, Claire, for finding me brave. Not always brave. It's just the impression that I give that I'm brave. Stand back again. I think that I should add a little bit of black back in there, just slightly. Where's my black? Slightly in there. Okay. Now, do you see the arm here? The arm still gives us the indication. No, not the indication, the impression that it's an arm. It didn't bother none of us. So I'm just going to bring this in, oopsie, there, as if her hair is... So I haven't worked on this arm at all. Okay, so it just pops out. There's her sleeve of her outfit. Okay, so girls, I'm not done yet, but I'm close to done. Smaller brush ones. Just want to highlight the, the eye slightly, like that. And perhaps you could do the same with the nose. Remember, I took the nose away. So let's just not put too much attention on the nose. Ooh! See, sometimes things like this will create a new style, complete new style. So if you make a lot of mistakes, you just call it a new style. Okay, Claire, we're having a smoke break. Stand in front of you, just want to look at this nose. And then there is the eye on the other side, which also needs a little bit of highlight. And then on the lashes, could put a little bit of highlight, a little bit of highlight there. This nose is terrible. Ah, that's better. Bringing that down. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to put a highlight slightly on the nose, which I did right from the beginning, and then I just messed it up. You know, so that goes to there. Just feels like I make the nose bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know what? Sometimes when we paint, we have an issue with something. So when we do hands and we don't get it right, we have an issue with hands. If you don't get a nose right, you have an issue with it. No, this is just the impression. Okay? It's those last strokes. Aha, that's better. Okay, so the highlight is catching her on her lip. So this is fine detail, girls. We're nearly done. That's going to sit there. I want to not really make her lips very dark. Just going to have that there because I'm going to introduce some purple in the background. Okay. I would love to now have a smoke break, but in the meantime I want to look at your screen so that you can tell me your input, please. Never ever be afraid to discuss. Let me just make it clearer there. Okay, so just going to bring that in slightly so that the feet is standing out from the background. I'm going to take, or the legs, I'm going to take that, just work that in there and finish that off a bit. And let's do the same on that side. Okay, now let's put highlights there. So touch of light touch there, and even touch at the bottom, Put that there. Now to bring out these light areas, if it's not light enough, you've got to go dark on other areas. So let's quickly prove that to you. So to make this ribbon lighter, I'll have to go dark on the one side. I want to put highlights there because the light falls there, so just like that. Okay, I'm going to put my paint brushes in water. Oh my goodness, my smoke is already smoked on its own. I don't have any wine left. We have got 10 minutes left. So I'm going to sit here next to my painting and I am going to read what you all say. Hi Joanne, Martin. Isma, jy hou daarvan, ek hou daarvan. I'm feeling so inspired to try something like this. That's good. Val, all the while highlights especially her skirt. Thank you, Val. I also think she's beautiful. So what we're going to do now is, oh, should light my smoke. Val, I don't know if you're still smoking. I'm sure that, I don't know if it's allowed in USA, no, London, wherever you are, the UK, if you can walk around and smoke. And I know I said we don't want to talk about COVID, but is it also so strict there on your side, like in South Africa at the moment? I think we, number 8, the highest in the world, currently. Girls, please just give me some likes when I watch videos and I go like, oh, there goes all these little ticka, and the hands go, and then I'm always so impressed. So can you please do the same for my video? I would appreciate that, and then I might just feel important. I'm gonna just turn the video so that I can sit like that and just watch this as well. I'm going to get out some purple. I don't know why I want to change. Her lips suddenly. Just put that in, bring this hair back down. Like that. Okay, that will dry. You see it, oh, I see, it's the chin that doesn't come down. Okay, I'm going to take my roller. So this is wet paint. I've just added that. I'm going to take my roller, test it there. There's no paint on here. I'm just going to, okay, I don't want to go through her face again. A little bit there, a little bit there. And I'm going to do the same when I add the purple. In a way, perhaps I need, I don't know, looking at the subject matter at the moment, comparing to that. This drawing was not easy to do because she's looking down. So what I did was I did lines like this, and I measured that to get her a beautiful face. It's better. Put a bit of nose. Just work that in there. Bring that in because she should be a beautiful ballerina, man. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, love the eye. Last couple of strokes. I'm going to take out purple. I'm going to bring purple in. So I'm going to put some hair going there. That's small things that I watched that bothered me while I was looking at this. Oh, and there's a lot of hair actually coming through here as well. I'm just going to put a little bit there, not too much. To bring some hair. She's holding her hair, so that's going to go 1 or 2 strands through there. Don't do that, don't do that. Take my brush, my roller, and work the roller through there again. Okay, good. Girls, I'm going to load some purple, and let's wrap this up. So, when last did you do a painting like this? Live. Lorianne. Okay, I will read the message as well a bit later. Some highlight. Up a bit. Okay. Right, some purple. Let's do this. Let's do this. I just had a beautiful. I hear it. Okay, so I've taken 2 different colours of purple. This is what I bought from Art Jamming, but this is also nice containers. You can buy this from Herbert Evans or any art shop. It's not the same as when you buy this from a hardware store. Hardware stores, more project paint, there's nothing wrong with project paint, but the pigment is not as strong. Okay, so I've got a whole crate of acrylic paints, which I do projects or commissions for people and so forth. So I've got two different colors of purple here, so a light purple and a dark purple. Let's see what we can do with that. I have loaded onto my rubber roller like this to not, go right through this. I'm a bit scared because there's a lot of purple on there. So let's first see if the magic can happen. Let me just pull that back again. Right? So let's do that there first. Wow, I like that. Let's take a little bit more. And that way, let's go over her. Now I'm going to change back to my old reliable. This is the sponge brush, just to work that in. Like that, and I want some on that side. Two colours, bring that in. And I don't want to take away the grey area now, but perhaps I can put a little bit of purple in her dress there. And do not take the whites away, just like that. You don't want a purple girl. Go there. Whoopsie! This is now when you tell me to stop, Francie. And this is normally where the mistake comes in, because we never know where to stop. That's why you are in my class, so that I can tell you, sign it now. I want to go right through her face and there as well. Let's give a little bit on the ballet shoes. So horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. I like that. I'm not very keen about that because I must work hard to find my creativity of okay. What do we think? We're nearly done. We know, you know what? Do that, let's bring that in a bit, there. Don't want to mess it up now. That's so easy to do. I want to bring back the white dress there. Oh, and we want to do the fine line here. Remember we said we're going to come back to that. Otherwise it doesn't look lacy. Right, there's a rule when it comes to signing your work. So what you should do, so when we sign this, you know that we're going to use a small little brush, we're going to donk it into the paint, and when you're ready to sign, you must be very sure that you're done with your painting. Do not sign it and go back to it. Pablo Picasso said we never ever finish a painting, we just abandon it. So let's abandon the painting. I do love this painting, I do. I can actually use this painting. I would like to see a little bit more highlights here, but perhaps I'll do that in oils. Next week we are going to do a colour pencil technique. If you've never seen or never done colour pencil before, this is the time to really lock in log in. Don't know what was in that sherry, but log in and enjoy the time with us. It's going to be a video where I'm actually going to sit down and do some techniques. It's really nice. It's going to be a 2-hour video, the same, next week, same time. You don't have to have fancy acrylics. You can use those acrylics I showed you. And the only mistake that you can make is 2 things. The one is not trying, not painting, not drawing. And the second one is not being back next week.